everybody. I am Barb Steinberg. I am a parent coach and a teen life coach for girls and a speaker on parenting teen girls. I thought it would be important for us to talk together about when our teenagers lie. If any of you have kids out there, you know that they lie. I mean, if we're really being honest, all human beings lie at one point or another. We are all deceptive sometimes. So why are our teenagers lying? Well, if you think about it, it's actually for kind of a virtuous reason, for lack of a better term. They want freedom. They want to do what they want to do, and we all do. And they also don't want to disrupt or hurt or harm the relationship that they have with you. So they want the connection with you, the alignment with you to be maintained. And they also want to do what they want to do. So if I know that you don't want me to go to Maggie's house on Friday and I really want to go to Maggie's house, I might lie to keep the peace and keep you happy and us happy. And then I can also do what I want to do, and that is go to Maggie's house. So the intention behind it, the goal is actually a good one, but it's not really the way that we want them to go about maintaining a connection with us or alignment with us. So I've had several parents recently bring up examples of their kids lying to them. For example, one mom talked about, well, actually I've had two different parents talk about their wanting their kids to eat healthy. And this one mom brought up the idea of her child sneaking Snickers bars. And I mean, let's be honest, who doesn't love a Snickers bar? God knows I was definitely sneaking sugar when I was a kid because we pretty much had Raisin Bran or apples. So boring. So this mom was like, I don't want my kid, I don't want to find 10 Snickers bar wrappers in her room. So why is she doing that? Because she loves Snickers. They taste great and she wants to enjoy them. And she knows that it'll upset her mom and disappoint her mom that she's not eating as healthy as she would like. So she's hiding that. She's lying about it. Or omission is also can be considered a lie. So we want to talk about, we'll just use this example, even though there are many other types of lies. But one, we want to have a discussion around this rather than us having an instant emotional reaction to it where we're angry, we're upset, we're disappointed. We want to have a discussion around it. So here are a few things to talk about. One is the cost of lying. So there's a cost to the child, right? To be hiding a part of yourself from people who love you, from feeling guilty about having lied to your parents and people you care about. That doesn't really feel good. Really, they actually do feel guilt, I promise. And there's a cost to you, the parent. This is important to talk about with your child. To talk about how it makes you feel when you lie to me and you hide things from me. It makes me feel like you don't trust me. It makes it hard for me to trust you, and I really want to trust you. It makes me feel scared and worried, like what else could she be doing that I don't know about? It makes me feel angry. It makes me feel disappointed that you're not able to tell me the truth, disappointed that maybe I've done something wrong in my parenting that you aren't telling me the truth. So there are a lot of feelings that come up for us as parents, and it's okay to share that with our teens. They get it. It's important for them to know that their behavior impacts us as well, and we actually do have feelings. So that's important. And it's also important, I think, to share the why behind the lying, sharing with them what we talked about a minute ago. And that is, of course, you want to do what you want to do. Of course, you want to eat Snickers bars. And of course, you want to hide it from me because you don't want to deal with me being upset or disappointed or putting limits on you. So I totally get that. And I did the same thing sometimes as a kid too. So kind of normalizing that. And I'll add to that, you want to be really careful in these conversations to not shame them, to not insult them, because that will just create more lying. They're not going to want to come to you and tell the truth to you about something they're afraid that you'll be disappointed about if there's going to be shame and insults involved. So if you're feeling really emotional, that's not the time for you to have a discussion about the incident of lying. So make sure that you're in a good place and your teen is in a good place and you can come with an open, loving heart, despite feeling what you're feeling. So you want to talk about the why behind the lying, right? So not only the why, but also what can we do to create a situation where you would feel more comfortable telling me that you want a Snickers bar or you're going to eat a Snickers bar? How can we create a household that it feels more, I don't know, more open so that you can tell me what it is that you want? Like, can we come up with a scenario where you can eat Snickers bars sometimes and you don't have to hide it or lie about it? And what would that look like? You know, is that a Snickers bar a day? Is it a mini one? Is it, you know, a normal size one every 3 days? Like, what does that look like? So kind of, you know, bringing them into the discussion so that they don't have to hopefully lie next time. And so asking them the why behind it, which is an easy one when it comes to Snickers bar. And also, you know, if you could do it differently, what do you wish that it was like so that you could have told me the truth? So Snickers bar is kind of an innocuous example, a real one, but not major. So if we, you know, fast forward through some teen years, and now maybe you've got a teen that is dabbling in drinking alcohol, let's say. So obviously they want to keep that a secret and lie about that because they know that you'll be upset about it in some cases. They know that it's against the law. They know that they could get minor in possession and there are legal ramifications. And they might know that there are health ramifications depending on how much they're drinking. So this would be a really good conversation. These steps that we're talking about, you know, talking about why teens lie, how it makes you feel, the costs of lying, talking to them about if we led that conversation with the alcohol with, tell me a little bit about what was going on in that scenario. You know, you were at a gathering, you were at a party, you were at your best friend's house. Like, tell me a little bit about what was going on. Now, notice I'm leading with curiosity. I'm not leading with anger and disappointment, which will definitely shut them down. So you've got to be in the right frame of mind. So get some information. And so you might even be asking, like, you know, was everybody drinking? Did you feel some pressure to drink? And then to really kind of meet them where they are and say, I get it, that you want to fit in. You want to be like everybody else. You want to be seen as cool or hip or, you know, more grown up or more experienced. I get that. Everybody feels that way as a teenager. And so if they can hear that you see it for what it is and that you are understanding where they're coming from, they're more likely to get to a point where they are willing to tell you the truth. And this might take a little finessing because they might be denying. But when they feel understood, they're probably more likely to be upfront about what's happened. And then you can talk about a little bit about how your feelings about your worry or your fear and where that comes from. And then you can talk about, okay, if you find yourself in this situation in the future, would you want to make a different decision? Hopefully the answer would be yes. And if they do, what could you do differently to handle that scenario differently so that you aren't drinking alcohol or you're drinking less alcohol or you're doing it in a safer way to protect your health. So there are lots of different pieces to talk about there. And then, you know, you get to decide as the parent, you know, I'm okay with this level of drinking or how or where it looks with who and so on, or I'm not okay with drinking alcohol when you're in high school or you're under the age of 21, whatever your values are. And then you have to talk about what are the consequences to this. So there might be a consequence for lying. There might be a consequence for drinking in your family. And then you can ask your teens, you know, if you were in my shoes, how would you handle this situation? What would the consequences be? It's really interesting. Usually they give themselves a lot harsher consequences than we would, which is enjoyable and interesting. And then you might feel like, okay, this doesn't warrant a consequence, but it warrants discussion because I want my child to learn from this mistake or this choice. And I want them to learn from it, to be educated about it, to make a different choice next time. They may or may not. But what we're doing with the discussions with them is we're teaching them, so that hopefully there will be an opportunity in the future for them to hopefully not lie, but to come to you and tell you, this is what I did, or this is what happened, this is the choice I made. Or you might catch them, and instead of lying, they might tell you the truth. That would be ideal, so that you guys can talk about it and deal with it. So the goal, I think, in the overarching goal in this way of responding to lying is to be firm and to be kind, to maintain the relationship, the parent-child relationship, knowing that every human lies, and knowing that they're going to lie, and knowing the reason why they do lie is because they want to maintain that connection with you and that alignment. So if you can come from that place, hopefully you can maintain your solid relationship through these discussions and through some of the consequences that may come. So hopefully this has given you some food for thought. Let me know your thoughts below. I'd love to hear them. I'd love for you to like the video if you did, or share it with friends who you think it might be helpful for. And I also have an online workshop that's called Talking with Your Teens, where there's much more of these tools and ways of communicating with your teens so that you can maintain a really positive relationship with them while they're growing older. So thank you for listening, and hopefully I'll see you soon. Have a great day. Bye.